a champion with Rita Pearson. One quote that really stuck with me is that no significant learning can happen without a significant relationship. So before having watched the TED Talk, when I thought of a positive teacher, I really thought of those bubbly morning people who came in and really made your day exciting, or maybe taught lessons in a different way, brought you out of the classroom. And those are definitely some very strong memories that stick with me. But after considering the concept of relationships, one teacher for me who was really my champion and who really has shaped me to be the person that I am today is a man named Mr. V, who taught a program that I was a part of in grade 11 called the Environmental Leadership Program. So they basically took 30 grade 11 students for one semester in grade 11, and you would get 5 credits out of the program, 4 of them taught by Mr. V. So you really had that time with the teacher to develop that relationship, to really get to know them, and to work hand in hand throughout the course of the semester. And thinking about the time that I spent with him, one of the first things that we did when we got into the classroom was we got to decide how our classroom was going to be designed. We could bring in couches if we wanted to, we could bring in a tea station, whatever was going to add to the space to really make it as positive of an environment that we needed as a class. And we got to decide those things with the teacher. It wasn't predetermined before we got in there. So just one of those things that he did to make sure that we were getting the most out of the program as possible. And thinking about him as a teacher, I just jotted down some themes that came to mind when I thought about him, and it would be passionate. He was very into what we were learning, so shared passion between the student and the teacher. He was flexible. Like I said, we worked hand in hand. He definitely thought of us as colleagues, I think, in a lot of ways. Of course, going into a kindergarten classroom, it would be translating that in a different way, but there's a mutual respect there, and I think that can translate to any grade level that you're teaching. There was that release of responsibility, so he wasn't afraid to let us get out there and make our own decisions and make our own mistakes at times as well. So like I said, he taught 4 out of the 5 courses for that program, so we really were given the time to develop those relationships that were required with him. And then the person who I think I got the least out of within my education would be the person who taught the 5th subject for that program, would be the biology teacher. And just maybe I'm a bit biased because I did get the opportunity to develop those relationships with Mr. V, but my biology teacher for that program, who I won't name, just was a very intelligent man, definitely had a mastery of the subject of biology, but wasn't able to dumb it down and bring things down to our level. One of my fondest memories of that course was watching Planet Earth. That was the one thing that I took out of that class. So going into my own classroom, I think some of the most important messages and the most important lessons that I got out of these 2 gentlemen would be to engage your students, be passionate about what they're passionate about, take the opportunity to get to know them, to allow them to be a part of the learning. And like we've said so many times, it's not only our classroom, it's our classroom as a whole. So allowing them the space to make it their own, to be able to think about things in the way that they would think about things, and look at the classroom through their lenses and the lessons through their lenses, so that we're able to give back to them as much as we need to. Mr. V really got to know the real us, like I said, so that was just something that really stuck with what I was saying. Allowed us to collaborate and add to the rhetoric and the lesson plans. I mean, obviously there's the curriculum that's set in stone, but there are things that can be moved around as well. So that's something that I would like to bring to my own class too. Obviously the nature of the program allowed for a lot of these things to be put in place, but these programs wouldn't be possible without teachers like Mr. V. So that's something that I would like to embody going into my own teaching career, is allowing these opportunities for students who are looking for them. It's a unique program, and it's something that I would like to explore further with different student bodies and the things that they're interested in. So following the students and following their passions as well.